Hey, what's going on, guys? Norsky here, and in this video we're going to go through the top 10 multiplayer maps in Call of Duty WW2. The order of this top 10 is all based on my opinion of what I think of each of these maps. Honestly, this list was pretty difficult to make, mostly because I feel that the maps in this game are kinda weak as a whole. Also, at the time of this video being made, there are exactly 10 maps in Call of Duty WW2, which is an unusually low amount for the base game. Typically, there are at least 13 or 14 maps included with the game at launch. Technically, there are only 9 maps, but Sledgehammer just made Carentan available for everyone in the month of December. Actually, Winter Carentan to be specific. After December, it will still be available to play for the people who have the Season Pass. Let me know in the comments what your favorite map in Call of Duty WW2 is. Anyways, let's get this video started. Kicking off this video with our number 10 best map is Gustav Cannon. Let me start by saying if there happen to be 11 maps in the game, Gustav Cannon would not make the top 10 because it is that horrible. Gustav Cannon is just way too big of a map, and it's also way too open of a map. Since this map is so big, the gameplay can be fairly slow paced, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Call of Duty is all about having fast paced action and gameplay, so this map just doesn't really fit in with the rest of the game. Gustav Cannon is also a sniper's paradise for a map because of how wide open it is. The actual Gustav railway gun is typically the hotspot for snipers. Now, I'm not a sniper, so you can see why I rank this map last. If you are a sniper, I'm sure you probably love Gustav Cannon, but for the majority of the people that play this game, this map is considered the worst, by far. The only good thing I guess I could say about Gustav Cannon is that it's probably the most unique map in COD WW2. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have Flak Tower. The map Flak Tower is based on actual flak towers, and they were complexes of large above-ground anti-aircraft gun blockhouse towers constructed by Nazi Germany. The towers were used by the Luftwaffe to defend against Allied air raids during World War II. They also served as air raid shelters for tens of thousands of local civilians. Now, if you ever go to the edge of the map, you can actually see that you are on a tower. This map is one of the grittier looking maps in the game, and when it comes to actual gameplay, this map is not that great. It seems like I get shot in the back more times on this map more than any other. It also has terrible spawns. Like, there's been countless times where I spawn right by an enemy, which gets a tad bit annoying. With all that said, Flak Tower isn't that great of a map, but it can still be somewhat enjoyable, and no matter what, it is an interesting map to say the least. Moving on to the number 8 spot, we have the USS Texas, or as Thunder calls it, the USS Head Glitch. The USS Texas was the second ship of the US Navy named in honor of a US state. The ship was commissioned on March 12, 1914. When the United States formally entered World War II in 1941, the USS Texas escorted war convoys across the Atlantic and later shelled Axis-held beaches for the North African campaign and the Normandy landings before being transferred to the Pacific late in 1944 to provide naval gunfire support during the battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa. The USS Texas was decommissioned in 1948, having earned a total of 5 battle stars for service in World War II. Among the world's remaining battleships, the USS Texas is notable for being the only remaining World War I era dreadnought battleship. It is also noteworthy for being one of only 7 remaining ships and the only remaining capital ship to have served in both World Wars. If this map was only half as impressive as the real ship, it would probably be the best map in the game. But it's not. Just like Gustav Cannon, the USS Texas is considered a sniping map. This map is much better than Gustav Cannon still, because it does offer all styles of gameplay. The center of the ship has a ton of traffic every game, and it can be a lot of fun because of the tight quarters style of gameplay. Now, Call of Duty really hasn't made many ship maps that I can think of. The only ones I can remember are Hijacked and Carrier from Black Ops 2. I know there's gotta be more ship maps than that, but I can't think of any other ones right now. Anyways, this map has to be one of the least popular in the game, and it is one of those maps where the design looks good on paper, but when it comes to actual gameplay, it really doesn't live up to the hype. Overall, it's a subpar map, and that's why it comes in at number 8. Coming in at the number 7 spot is Sainte Marie du Mont. In all reality, this map is actually halfway decent in quite a few ways. Starting with the scenery of this map, the overall look and feel of this map is pretty cool, and it's also fairly different from the rest of the maps in the game. It's obviously supposed to represent the small village of Sainte Marie du Mont. In fact, there were only around 1,000 people living in this town during World War II. The design of this map is your typical 3-lane style map where it's left, middle, or right. This map is actually pretty good for all styles of gameplay because in the center lane you have a house on each side where people can snipe if they want to snipe. There's also a house or building that has 2 levels in the center of the map, perfect for SMG and assault rifle gameplay. Now the main reason I only put this map at number 7 is because it has just gotten stale for me personally. It seems like people only use the middle lane or the courtyard style lane or whatever you want to call it. Here's a picture of the lane I'm talking about. But for some reason people rarely ever go on this side of the map. It's probably my own fault that this map has become dull for me, but overall, Sainte Marie du Mont is actually a pretty decent map. Coming in at the number 6 spot, we have Carentan. This map first originated in the original Call of Duty, and it was also in Call of Duty 2. We also can't forget that it was in Modern Warfare, only it was reskinned and called Chinatown. And now it's finally been brought back after all these years. This map is as classic as a map can get. I never had the chance to play it on COD 1 or 2, but I have played the Chinatown version. It was never my favorite map back then, and as of right now it still isn't my favorite on COD World War II. Don't get me wrong, this map is designed so much differently than the rest of the maps in the game because there are so many routes you can take in this map. There's also a ton of buildings in this map, which is great for people who snipe. It can also be great for close quarter action. The problems I have with this map is there are way too many people who tend to camp on this map, which gets annoying pretty quick. Also, you almost always have to be in a building if you want to play halfway decent, because if you're not in a building, you're just going to become a sitting duck for people that are already next to the windows in the buildings. This map isn't bad, but the nostalgia factor definitely played a role in its overall ranking. Getting down into the final 5 best maps in Call of Duty World War II, at number 5 we have Pointe du Hoc. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering why this map is only ranked 5th. Well, the reason I only have it at number 5 is because of the sniping cheese at close range. It seems like every time I play this map there's always one guy running around with a sniper and outgunning people with SMGs at close range. I swear that there has to be some sort of major aim assist on the snipers in Call of Duty World War II, because it seems like there's always a ton of no-scope headshots, like way more than there should be, but anyways, I'm getting off topic. Pointe du Hoc is actually a pretty good map. It has great map flow, and the dark, cloudy, and gloomy skies really bring out the grittiness of this map. I honestly love the look of this map. An interesting fact is Pointe du Hoc was actually part of D-Day on June 6, 1944. This map has many different lanes, which makes for a map that has a good unpredictability factor to it. Pointe du Hoc is honestly a map where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Moving on to the number 4 spot, we have London Docks. I honestly really enjoy the map London Docks. I feel that this map is one of the fastest paced maps in the game. By that I mean gameplay wise, it is the fastest. This map really isn't made for sniper play, but you can obviously make it work because there are a few areas for some long range shots. This map is perfect for assault rifles and SMGs. This map also feels open and yet provides enough cover where it's still not too wide open. Maps that are similar to this sometimes feel confined, which is what sets this map apart. Every time I see this map come up to vote, I almost always pick it just because it's such a fun map to play on. I would also say that London Docks is probably one of the easiest maps in the game to flank just because it's so fast paced. The respawns also swap sides quite a few times, and sometimes the respawns can be poorly placed on this map. There's been a few instances where I've spawned within 10 feet of an enemy, but it's fairly uncommon on this map overall. The respawns are probably the biggest negative about this map. Overall, London Docks is a pretty good map and a lot of fun to play on, and that's why it comes in at number 4. Moving on to the number 3 best map, we have Ardennes Forest. This map is a great all-around map. Great map flow with great amounts of open space in this map, and also just the right amount of coverage too. Gameplay wise, it's probably one of the most versatile maps in the game, offering pretty much every type of gameplay. This map is also a snow map, which for some reason I always tend to love snow maps, which is weird because I honestly really don't care for snow in real life all that much. The look and feel of this map honestly doesn't really give off the World War II vibe, but that doesn't mean it's a bad map. Like I said, this map offers some of the best overall gameplay in COD World War II, and that's why I have it ranked so high at number 3. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have Aachen, or Aachen, however you pronounce it, I don't know, I'm not really sure, but I know I've already said this about other maps, but this map offers all types of gameplay, which is honestly what people are looking for when it comes to the layout of a map. A little backstory of the origin of this map. The Battle of Aachen was fought between the American and German forces in and around Aachen, Germany between September 12th in October 21st, 1944. This city was the main defensive network on Germany's western border. Much of the city was destroyed and both sides had many casualties, and it was one of the largest urban battles fought by the US forces in World War II, and actually the first city on German soil to be captured by the Allies. The battle ended with the Germans surrendering. After hearing the backstory, it makes it a lot easier to understand why this map is all in ruins and on fire, along with all the destroyed buildings. The first few times I played on this map, I really didn't care for it all that much, but as I've played it more and more, it's been kind of growing on me and it's turned into one of my favorite maps in the game. Moving on to the coveted #1 spot, we have Gibraltar. This map is as close to perfection as you're gonna get in Call of Duty World War II. I don't know if you noticed, but 3 out of the top 5 maps were from the beta. Kind of ironic, don't you think? Anyways, this map was by far the best when it comes to overall gameplay. It's great for shotgunners, snipers, SMGs, LMGs, assault rifles, everything. The center courtyard is probably the most fun part of any map in this entire game. It offers so much action and enjoyable gameplay. There have been numerous times where I've had amazing gunfights in this area alone. The other 2 lanes on this map are perfect for long-range engagements. Personally, there is no better map in the game than Gibraltar, and that's why it comes in at #1. Obviously, not everyone is going to agree with my order of the top 10 best maps in Call of Duty World War II, so if you disagree with my list, let me know what your favorite maps are in the comments. Also, if you still happen to be here, leave the word Blitzkrieg in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching, hit the like button if you enjoyed, and also feel free to subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thanks again guys, and I'll catch you later.